Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Around the paints again. Cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, sap green, ultramarine blue, burnt umber, alizarin crimson and titanium white. And to be honest, this selection of colours has become my landscape palette. I don't really use that many other colours. Sometimes maybe you throw in one or two, I don't know, but I seem to be able to use just these. Maybe like a burnt sienna sometimes, but then you can just put burnt umber and a bit of alizarin crimson, a bit of yellow ochre and white, and you've got burnt sienna anyway, so, or something like that. But anywho, let's get on with the painting. So I'm going to do a bit of a sky. I'm just going to use the ultramarine blue. Sometimes I use a bit of cerulean blue actually in my blues. I'm going to use ultramarine blue in this sky. Oops. I got white on me. I'll use it. So here we go, let's get this sky going. This is an area that I go for a walk. I actually went just before I started painting this painting. I like to keep active. Keep the legs moving. Because I've when I had some time off work, I found it quite hard to get back into it again because I didn't do as much walking. I did a lot of sitting down. But anyway, let us carry on with the painting. So I've got this blue, and what I might do actually, sometimes because there's a big tree here, but you can see blue coming through. So what I might do is put a bit of blue in there, and then some of this is going to show through the tree. And I think I'll do it this way today. Sometimes I would use the paint to create my gaps, and I might still do that. But I just thought I might as well just get that bit painted now, and then I can paint the tree on the top. I mean, there's so many different ways to paint, isn't there? There's just one way. You could either like just paint it with colour next to each other, or you can do it like this, where I'm going to paint on the top. So many different ways. Which way do you choose? That used to be the challenge. Then it doesn't matter. Just whichever works. That's the way you should do it. Right, I'm going to dry that, so I'm going to just pause my recording. Okay, so now I'm going to start my tree. Bit of green, bit of blue, bit of brown. So I'm going to aim for my darks first. I mean, this is nice and dry now. I used to use the hairdryer just to dry it out a bit. Now, where do we do this dark? There's a path. There's a bit of a... I didn't wash my brush well enough. There's still sky on my brush. I don't want any of that on my brush. See, the reason I don't want it is because it milks my colour up. And I'm making a dark using my blue, green and brown. And then the white milks it up a little bit. I don't want it to be milky. I want it to be nice and dark. So I'm looking at the darker areas. I'm just throwing it in. Some of this white may reactivate a bit, but it don't matter. I'm not too bothered. So we can get more dark. The trees. There's a bit of greenery there. It's quite bushy there as well. There's a bush here. Just got a bit of yellow ochre in my colour, just so I can see where that is. It goes there in front. Like that. Just for a little bit of crimson in there, in the colour, just to make it a bit darker. So I want my dark to go on this bit up to there. See that red? That nice crimson. Just looking at the shapes of the trees. What I might do as well is be a bit clever with the light. I might leave that. That's me being clever. Leaving that. Because some areas, maybe there isn't blue sky peeping through there, which there isn't in real life. But it looks good, so I'm leaving it. I want this dark there. And it comes across there. Might as well use a bit more of a green in the colour for this bit to get the shape. And we've got another tree there. That's going off the page, isn't it? So I won't worry about that. So I'm kind of doing get a bit of yellow ochre in my colour. It's just that same darkness, but now there's a bit of yellow ochre and green in, because what I'm looking for. A bit of yellow ochre, a bit of brown, a bit of green. What I'm looking for is that mid colour now, the mid colours, and then I'm going to do my highlights on the top of that. It's just a building it up, and by doing it this way, for me anyway, I can make less mistakes. Because I'm building it up. I'm building up to it, aren't I? Building up to the highlights. I'm building the shapes up. So I've got no worries. The no worry painting method. And you want to be in that sort of mindset of no worries when you're painting, don't you? Because you don't want to get stressed and start thinking, oh, well, this painting's not working, oh no. I'm taking all these paints back. Basically how I felt when I first did one of my first paintings. I wanted to take everything back. I want my money back. These paints don't work. Ooh, got a bit of yellow there. Ooh, ooh, look at that. Nice. There's a really nice highlight that goes like that. And it goes there as well. Nice bit there. Just getting a bit of white and yellow in my green. The greens on this tree here is slightly different to this tree here. This is more of a... This tree is more of a sap green type tree. Maybe a bit more blue in it actually. Let's try that. Where the other tree is a bit more yellow. There's a nice shape there. So I'm always looking at those shapes. I want to keep those sort of shapes. And there's a darker green in amongst this. Get rid of them light bits. I mean, this will all dry a little bit darker anyway. A bit more of the yellow. And then there's this tree. Sort of a white, yellow ochre-y kind of colour. I think that's probably right. About that anyway. That goes up like that. And down. Getting those shapes. So we'll leave that to dry a little bit and start working on the full painting, the full colour of the painting. And then I can come back and start playing a little bit. So we've got the ground plane. And we've got a path. Just throwing this colour in. Blocking it in. Getting an area ready for a bit of yellow ochre and white. Just saw that light there, I've just put a bit of a indication of it. Now I want a really nice deep green, so I'm throwing some sap green, a little bit of blue and some cad yellow. Probably a bit more green actually. Don't want that white in it. No, don't want the white. Green, the blue. Oh, that's nice. It's a nice colour. So I want that all the way along here. That colour gets bigger as it comes closer. So about there. And it's a little bit darker on one side, so I'll throw some blue and brown into my colour. Get that all the way to there, and then that comes out across this side. And there is a bit of grass there up behind there. Like that. Yeah, something like that. I'll just spray the old paints. And I think I'll give that another dry. Or should I do the path? Maybe I'll do the path first. path's quite interesting. There's a lot more darker area though in the path. Got some blue and green and brown. Blue, green and brown. Get that darkness there. Then it kind of changes to a green. And then there's green that goes down there. A bit more dark in amongst some of this. But in this area, it's almost that colour. Not quite though. Bit of red, bit of brown, bit of the old ochre. Get a nice colour in there. Get a bit of light in there. Yeah, and I think I'll let that dry now. Oh, I've just remembered. I keep seeing things that I've forgotten. I'm going to get a little bit of the sky colour, a little bit of the green. Get these trees in the background there. Don't need that to be too bright. I forgot about those. And now I'm going to hair dry everything again. After I've pulled that out there. Some of the blue in this. Yeah. There is actually a tree there. And there's a tree here. And they get a lot of light from this side, so I want to do, maybe I should do that as well. Yeah. Nah, I'll wait until it's dried off a bit. Okay, so I'm just looking at this and thinking, right, well, look at these shapes, and I'm going into a different brush as well. I'm using this brush. It seems to be good for trees. It's a worn out brush. I'm going to tap into this, colour these colours, a bit of yellow, a bit of green. It's a watercolour, cotton watercolour brush, but it's a bit, it's a bit done in. So I'm going to tap some of these leaves in that are over here. Try and get the colour right as well. It's about right. There's a behind there. And then over this side it goes dark. So grab a bit of the blue and the green. Get that dark colour over there as well. You can really start bringing things out though. I really like the highlight part of painting. It's the best part, isn't it? You can really start bringing the colours out, bringing them forward. So I'm making myself another green, bit of yellow, bit of blue. Might throw in a bit more of the yellow actually. Bit of green. We'll see what that one's like. This one is the bit that sort of goes there. It really shines. Is this bright enough? I don't think it is. If you get a bit of white in it. Bit blue. That's probably closer. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a bit better. More green in it. More yellow in it now from this part. So if you're using a reference picture or if you're following along with this one, you can always get the picture at the end of the video and take a screenshot and you can use it if you want to, if you want to have a go at painting this. Sometimes the colour you might be looking at has got a bit more blue in it, and if that's what you see, you put it in. This has got a lot of yellow here, it sort of comes across there. I like all the different shapes you get in the trees when the light's coming from one side. You get those different like dark areas and all these different shapes. I really like it. I was out in the woods today, walking around, looking at the different shapes. Unfortunately, the sun didn't come out though. I was hoping to get some more pictures, to be honest. But the sun never actually showed, so the painting, if I did take pictures, the painting would be a bit boring. I mean, you don't always need to paint paintings with the sun blasting out, but I just think it looks better when the sun's out. Different sort of greenness is here, but more of a, not quite as strong as those yellows, so just wash my brush, give it a dry. Get some of this green and I'll start working on this. I need to do some downward strokes on this one. Something like that, get the indication of it, and then get some yellow, yellowy green. Do some more of these. Just to get the indication of the flowers on the tree, because there's loads of little yellow flowers. Because they're not quite in the light. They are a bit there. So I might put some there. A little bit there as well. Sort of the light just only hits a few areas, so I don't want to overdo. I'm going to make sure I leave some of that dark as well. So, we need to get some browny, ochre yellow, something like that, to do the ground plane. It looks like it's just been, maybe a week ago, it's been mowed. Because it's got some grassy areas, but some of it's more. Well, that's a bit too yellow. That's not bad. Probably needs dulling a little bit, but we'll see what it looks like once it's dried. Chuck some blue in it. Yeah, that is a bit better actually. The blue does make it a bit better. Letting some of that undercolour show through, because I quite like that coolness underneath. Something like this. Some more of that grass going along there with this one side. A little bit more detail in this area. A bit more of the grass coming this way. Just to create that sort of height there. This side needs to be a lot darker, so I'll use my blue and a bit of red in it. Start building that colour up a bit. Building it up. Need now sort of a greyish colour. Might wipe a area dry. Just wiping an area dry on my palette, my plate. Yeah, green. Bit of that bluey colour. So I always see areas that I've not quite got right when I'm, well, I say not quite got right, I haven't finished, so. But when I start looking at one area, I'm like, oh, I haven't done that. Anyway, so I want some of this. This is quite good actually. It's about perfect. Greeny, whitey colour. I think it's this colour anyway. It's all the little flowers that grow in here. They sort of look like that. Now just tap in. Get that effect of stuff. Of course you can come in with a small brush and paint in a few more accurately, or you can indicate them like I've done like that. Because they do tend to grow in like clumps like that. There is a few there as well actually, didn't even notice them. Okay. Throw a little bit of brown in that same colour, and I think we've got a close colour to this, actually. That is looking pretty spot on now. It's looking a heck of a lot better. Need a bit more dark in that area there. Sort of brings that together a little bit. I'm going to dry that off again. And then I can put some of the really lighter lights, because I can actually see a tree trunk there. So I'm going to put that in. So I might use my liner brush. Put a couple of the tree trunks in. And then we can bring out some of the lighter lights again. And do another layer. Okay, so I'm getting a bit of brown, a bit of red, a bit of yellow, and white. Make myself a tree trunk colour, to the warm side of course, and quite bright. Something like that, sort of a yellowy, pinky colour. You can see it, it's growing here. See if I can do that hole that's in there. Yeah, there we go. You can see one there. A bit more brown in it. And then there's another one that I can see there. I can see a branch. Oh, I can see one here as well. Didn't notice that. Sort of see the edge of it. A few others. Something like that. Don't want to overdo it. Now I'm going to use some orange, yellow and green and white. Like a really strong colour, strong yellow for some of these areas where the light's really zinging off them. Build them up a bit. Looking at the different shapes that you can see as well. There's also this there. Touch of greens, touch of reds, yellows. Just making another different, just slightly different. Okay. Get that sort of yellowish white on there as well. Okay, I think we're getting closer. Looking a bit better. A bit more life in the background now. We're going to need to do do this tree here. There's a tree. It's got grass growing up it there, and there's another one there. It's got a really nice colour on it though. Let's see if we can make just a bluey green for the top part, something like this. Just trying to get that side. Grabbing a yellowy, kind of a warm colour. Look at this colour. A bit of alizarin crimson and white and cadmium yellow. Get a nice warm colour there. And some of the ground has got this on it, so I'm going to try and sort of there. That warmth, that sunlight. It's got like a bit of a line there. some of that, some of it hits there as well. Pull that in. It's got a really nice bit there. And it's got a bit there as well. There's a nice green bit there off the page there. Let's put it in, why not? A nice good green there. And there. And then these trees have got a very strong young green on them, like that. Get some of this on the top of this. So now I want to get some of that grassy colour there. And a little bit of this warmth type colour. Just to put it on that path. More brown. That's better. I also want to put these just grabbing some blue and brown. There's some posts here. Well, this one's closer, it's more like that. And then on one of the posts, I'm not sure why it's only, the light has only managed to reach one of the posts. This one. I might fake it and have a bit on that one as well. Why not? And now I want some grassy bits going. And then here as well, got a few lines going upwards. Got some really nice yellow splodges on this tree. I'm going to grab some white, and maybe there's some more light and it hits a few of these. A few of these are getting a bit more light than others. There's a few of these back here as well. Just leave it at that, I think. You can always spray some on as well, can't you? Get a little bit of paint on my brush and just you can see some of them. Whoops. I can add some stuff. Right, now that needs straightening off like that. Some areas have got a bit of green in it. Yeah, I quite like that. I think that's quite nice. Quite a nice little scene. I'm just going to do a little bit of green in there, just to break it up a little bit so there is dark in it. The old back and forth. The other thing is this sort of goes up at an angle like that. Anyway, I think bit of greenery there. I think we're about there. I want to put in a little bird though. Because I always see one. I actually saw a robin today down there. That was good. Maybe put one or two in. Yeah, another little nice little country scene. The one that I see. Just thought I'd put an indication of like a bit of tree branches and stuff there. Bit yellow. Yeah. I've lost my long grass around it though. I just want to put that in, and then I'll call this one, I think. A fun little landscape that you could do. You could put in all kinds of little details and things, and you could have somebody walking up there, couldn't you? I thought about that. Bit of light there. Anyway, yeah, you walk up here, and then you're in between a wall then, and you walk through the wall, and it's a nice little walk. Just put a few of these on this tree. I think it's a horse chestnut tree, that one, actually. Yeah, and you could keep putting more and more detail in if you wanted. You could make it look like a photo. But I'm going to leave it at that and say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.